Hi class, session 1 of the week. Hope you're feeling good about the beginning of the week. Hopefully you've had some recovery between your last session and this session and you are ready to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with our warm-up. Chest expansion. So far we've talked about some of the guiding principles, right? We've talked about obviously our breathing, we've talked about our center, we've talked about control of our pace, control of our muscles, control of our breathing, and we've even talked a little bit about focus and concentration, okay? Come on down for cat and cow. Today we're going to talk about precision, and part of the principles that help guide you into a state of flow is precision. And every movement that we learn in here, that I teach you in here, is based on form, right? And a certain type of form, precision is that form. And so just stay paying attention to how I teach it. Go ahead and go into dynamic, watching the movement, practicing the movement, but practicing it correctly, right? And so having precise form, precise movement is really important for the development of our strength, of our stamina, of our flexibility, range of motion, all of those things. So, you know, precision, it's not just about doing it right, but being very thoughtful about what you're doing, what you're practicing. Go ahead and come on down to a seated position. So, when we go down for our 100, we've had our legs bent, correct? What we're going to do now is we're going to actually lift our legs straight up, vertical towards the ceiling, okay? So everything else is the same, we're just holding in our legs in a different position. So go ahead and come on down, extend your legs up, hold them here, and begin. When you're done, go ahead and bring your legs down, your head down. So I didn't want to talk while we were doing our 100. We're going to go ahead and do our leg circles. So go ahead and bring one leg up, bend it, open, and circle. So precision, like with anything, any maybe skill or task that we learn for the first time, you know, the learning part is really important. Go ahead and reverse direction of your circle. So the cues are what help you. The cues with the verbal cues that I give you, the physical cues from the viewing, right? Obviously, I'm not here with you in physical form. Go ahead and switch legs in face-to-face. Bend, open, and circle. But, you know, being able to still teach you while you watch virtually is really important for you to receive that information. Go ahead and switch back, go the other direction for that learning, right? So when I'm teaching these exercises, just make sure that you're paying attention to your cues. Bring this leg down, the verbal and the physical. And for for us to develop our skills, precision is really important. So we don't want to just do something our own way. We want to do it the right way. And so listen to and watch the cues. So that's part of that precision in making sure that we're developing those skills, okay? It's also good to be precise with your movements so that we don't injure ourselves, right? So very important too. All right, so first time through, here we go. We're gonna go single leg crunch. So we're gonna go ahead and bring our hands behind our head, and we're gonna hold our head here, shoulders elevated. We're scooping here, chin is down, and I'm just going to bring one leg in and out, okay? In and out. So it's a static crunch, meaning it's constant with movement from the leg. Full extension and pulling in, breathing continuously. And we're going to switch legs. Bring the other leg in and out. Of course, we're just warming up the first time through the session. So the other thing about precision is that in order, go ahead and bring your foot down and rest. In order for us to level up, to go to a second level of a certain exercise or go into a traditional from a modified, right? We need to be able to show some growth. And so we need to show some strength, capability to move into that next level. So if you're doing it correctly, those gains are going to happen. But incorrectly, you might injure yourself, you're not doing it the right way, other muscle groups are working, compensating, and so on and so on. So just making sure that if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me and ask, I'm feeling this way, can you help? Okay, knees in. So double leg, head up, chin to chest. We're gonna go sweeping side arms. So legs out, sweeping the arms out to the sides, and pull back in. And the great thing about this class is that we take it slow to develop those skills. And rest. All right, so bridging, we're going to go ahead and lift our hips up. Go ahead and do that. We're bridging. And from here, I'm going to lift one knee towards my trunk. So I'm holding the weight of my bridge with my one foot. See this? And I'm going to bring it down. Lift my other knee, bring it down, and then lower my hips. So I want to maintain a nice high hip position when I'm in that bridge and not let it go while I pull this knee in. So glutes are engaged, abdominals are engaged as we bridge. Up, in, down, in, down, and down. One more. Up, in, down, down, and down. Good. Okay, crisscross. We're going to go ahead and crisscross with the crunch so our hands are behind our neck. Keeping my legs bent. When I lift and rotate my trunk, I'm going to pull my knee in and lower, come back to center and go the other direction. Okay, so I'm keeping my legs bent, lifting and rotating, really trying to use my abdominals to pull my trunk towards my knee rather than my head. We don't want to pull on the head. Breathing. double straight. We're going to do a little pulse at the top, and that just simply means it's kind of like a tiny little bounce in the movement. So we're getting a little a stretch reflex going on in the back of the leg. So a little bonus stretch. Legs are all the way up, head and shoulders up. This is what it looks like. Watch me. Pull, 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 pull. So a little more flexibility. Even the horizontal leg pulses a little bit at the bottom. See that? Last one here. And rest. Nice. Double straight. We're going to modify double straight. Both legs are all the way up. Head and shoulders up. Hands behind your neck. We're going to go ahead and lower the legs. Pull the knees in. Extend the legs out again. And lift them up. Down, in, out, and up. Down, in, out, and up. One more. Down, in, out, and up. And rest. Nice. All right, so we're still in this roll-up stage, roll-up hold with arm sweep. We've added the arm sweep. We're going to stick with this for a little bit longer. Start with your arms behind your head, and remember the cues. So, sweeping, lifting, chin to chest, scooping, glutes, press the back. We're going to see if we can keep going a little bit higher each time we do this. I love the sound of my chimes. One more. I don't know if you can hear that. Good. All right, we're going to roll to our side, push ourselves up. Seated position, roll down holds. We're going to lift those arms a little bit higher when we lean back, right? We're at that stage. So collapse, lean back and lift. So again, we scoop, right? It's very precise movement, rounded. We don't use our back to hold us. We use our abdominals to hold us in that lean position. Good. All right, split your legs. We're gonna do that saw. Remember saw? Split legs, sitting up tall, arms are outstretched. We're gonna rotate or twist, and then we're leaning, trying to connect our abdomen to our thigh, and coming back up and twisting to the other side. So this exercise, very similar to the mermaid, where it takes a few tries, right? A few repetitions to start to feel the limbering or the stretch of certain muscles. You don't ever want to force this exercise, just let it happen. Good. Back to center. Go ahead and bring your legs together. We're going to practice that rowing exercise. Hands interlocked, collapse the spine. We're going to lean back, pull the hands in line, midline. Reach back as we lift, transfer forward, sweep the arms around, and start again. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. balance, tall trunk. So go ahead and bend your knees. We're going to do a double leg extension, but it's going to be low. So we've just been working one leg, right? So seated balance, bring your hands underneath your thighs, balancing on the tailbone there, okay? Scoop to start. Now when we come into tall trunk, I'm just going to extend my legs out low. So I'm letting my knees go, and I'm creating a tall trunk by leaning back and pressing my abdomen forward, right? And then I come in. So it's very low. You don't even have to extend the legs out all the way. You're just letting your knees go. Feel the change in the position of the spine. In and out. Good. All right, spine stretch. Split the legs. Reach up. Stretch forward. One more. Good. All right, bring your legs together. Go ahead and bend the knees. We're going to lean back on our elbows. I'm going to extend one leg down. Abdomen is tall, remember? I'm going to bend my knee, pulling it in, and then I'm going to rotate my leg out, away from my body, and extend my leg back to center. Okay, pull in, out, back. In, out, down. So we're just working on that inner thigh, inner hip. One more. Should feel that in the groin area, right? Extend the other leg. So in, rotate out, down. In, out, down. One more. Good. Come forward, knee hug, release the back. Which means we're turning over, right? So we're going to turn over onto our tummies. All right, here we go. Turning over. So pull straps. Arms are at our sides. We're doing trunk work here. Resting on our chin. Arms out. Keeping the legs down. We're going to go ahead and lift the trunk. Press the pelvis down and sweep the arms back behind us. And lower. So we're going to exhale as we lift and sweep. Reach back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Press the pelvis down, tighten those glutes. Good. Bring your arms in front, fold them, head stays down. This is called grasshopper, so we're just working the lower body here. So head stays down, so watch me. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to flex my feet, lift my thighs, and tap my heels. So I'm going to bring my heels in and out. My legs move in and out while they're elevated, okay? All right, so we'll do 2 sets of these. We'll rest in between. You'll feel this in your lower back, your glutes, and your hamstrings, okay? Here we go. Ready? Bend the knees, flex the feet, lift the thighs, tap in and out. Breathe, don't hold your breath. So these are called grasshopper or heel taps, okay? We're gonna do this again. Bend, flex the feet, lift the thighs, tap in and out. Breathe. Good, and rest. Nice. All right, what's next? We have modified. So we have slow push up into low back stretch. So dynamic low back stretch, hands outside, keeping your knees down. We're gonna push up and pull back. And come down. Trunk is one movement. And back. And down. Down. One more up and back. Good. All right, kneeling tall, mermaid, side to side arm sweeps. Remember, glutes are engaged, abs are engaged, hips are pushed forward, tall trunk, sweeping over to the side. Good breathing here, right? All right, we have a new exercise. This is called teapot. And so it's just another version or way of practicing a push-up. Okay, so we're gonna start in table. And from here, I am going to bring my hands slightly forward. Okay, now with the arms, what's going to happen is the elbows are going to drop straight down. Go ahead and practice that. Straight down. So they're in alignment with your shoulder and your hand. So the elbows don't come out, they come straight down. Okay, so there's that pressure on the wrists and the hands, and if this is too much, just modify, just only do a little bit of a bend, okay? I'm going to bring one leg back. Okay, and I'm going to lift it just out beyond my hip here. And when I lower my elbows, my back leg is going to lift. My forearms come down, I press up, and my leg comes down. That's the teapot. Okay? If this is weird on your hands or wrists, you can try fists, but it's still going to be a little bit strange, okay, when you come up onto your fists. But do the best you can. Okay, so arms come down, leg comes up, press up. You can also adjust your arm and hand position. We're going to switch legs. Down and up. Down and up. Down and up. One more. Down and up. Good. All right, come on down to your side, all the way down, hand prop behind your head. We have lying side leg lifts. Hand is out in front. Top leg is doing the work, so our hip, bottom hip here, goes to the mat, is pressed down, abdominals are pulled in. We're going to lift, bend, extend. Lift, bend, extend. Nice and strong in the leg. Breathing. Come up onto your elbow. Go ahead and bend your legs. This is called chest expansion. So my hips are going to be elevated for the entirety of the exercise. And my hand is going to be propped behind my head. So watch me. So my hips are up and pushed forward. My hand is behind my head. And I'm simply going to pull my hips back slightly, and I'm going to rotate my arm down towards the mat, and then push my hips slightly forward and lift my elbow, okay? So that's chest expansion. So we're really just working on the rotation of the trunk and expansion of the chest. All right, here we go. Ready? Up, rotate, lift, and down. Up, rotate, up, and down. Up, rotate, up, and down. One more. Up, rotate, up, and down. Switch sides. Side leg lifts. All right, here we go. Up and extend. Up and extend. One more. Good. All right, up on your elbow, bend your knees, hand behind your head, and we're lifting and rotating and lifting and down. Chest expansion. Up, down, up, and down. Up, down, up, and down. One more. Up, down, up, and down. Good. All right, come to a seated position on your mat. And we're going to start again, second time through. Okay, so second time through, we're actually going to challenge ourselves at the beginning of the week rather than at the end of the week when we're fresh, I think. We're going to try 2 exercises in a row, okay? So back to back without any rest. And here, again, really working on precise movement and also just controlling our pace and our repetitions, right? If for some reason you have to just stop short of when I'm finishing, that's fine. But we are trying to build stamina here, okay? So we're going to go single leg crunch into double leg sweeping arms, okay? So come on down. Feet on the mat. Head down, hands behind the neck. And we're going to do our single leg work, all right? Lift, hold, and here we go. In, out, in, out. Consistent breathing. Switch legs. Excuse me. So after this, we're going to go into our double leg sweeping arms. Here we go. Pull the knees in. Hands over the knees. Sweep out and in. Go one more. And rest. Nice. Okay, let's do some bridge with knee pull. Here we go. Bridge up. And we're pulling knee. Other knee. And down. Again. Up. And in. And in. And down. And up. And in. And in. And down. We got one more of these. Up and in. And in. And down. Nice. Okay, so we're going to try the crisscross, right? And then we're going to go right into that single straight with the pulsing. All right, so hands are behind the neck. Here we go. We're going to lift and pull across. Other side. Continuous breathing. Pressing that back down because we're scooping. Nothing fast. Everything's slow and methodical. Let's go 2 more. And then our legs will go all the way up after this for a single straight. Here we go. Hands over here. We're going to go bounce, little pulse. Last one here. And rest. Nice. Are you staying with me? I hope so. Okay, so double straight. We're going to go modified again. Both legs up, head up, hands behind our neck. We're going to lower the legs, bend, extend, and lift. Let's see if we can exhale that entire move. Down. Inhale. Down. One more. Good. And rest. Nice. Okay. Slide bend to the knees. Arms outstretched behind. Roll up, hold. Let's see if we can go a little higher. Sweep. Down. Exhale up. And up. One more. All right. Roll to your side. Push yourselves up. Roll down, hold with elevated arms. All right, here we go. Ready? Collapse and lean and lift. One more. Good. All right, seated V for saw. Arms outstretched to our sides. And we're going to rotate and lean. See if you can go a little deeper while keeping your back flat, right? Last one here. Good. Bring your legs together, hands outstretched in front. We have rowing. One more. Good. Seated balance. All right, so just a low double leg extension, all right, with a tall trunk. Let's try it. Here we go. Ready? Lean back. forward, flat back. One more. Good. Spine stretch. Split your legs, arms up, pitch forward. One more. All right, bring your legs together, bend your knees. We're going to lean back on our elbows, abdomen tall, one leg is extended. We're going to pull the knee in, let it go out, and then back to start. In, out, down. In, out, down. Switch legs. In, out, down. In, out, down. One more. Good. All right, come forward. Knee hug. Before we turn over, release the back. And let's come on over for pull straps. Remember, upper body is lifting, legs stay down. Resting on our chin, arms at our sides. Here we go. We're going to lift, press the pelvis, sweep the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades, and lower. We're exhaling on the lift. Feel that strength in that back, lifting your trunk up. Good. Bring your arms around. We have grasshopper or heel taps. Go ahead and bend your knees. Flex your feet. Lift your thighs and tap. Breathe. Head stays down. And rest. We'll do another set. Ready? Bend, flex, lift, and tap. And down. Good. All right. Hands outside the chest. Slow modified push-up and the pull back. Here we go. Up. One more. Good. And kneeling tall for mermaid. Here we go. Ready? And side bend. Big breathing here. And one more. Good. So let's try that teapot again, right? Come down to table. Hands slightly forward. leg extended, elbows come straight down. And push, and down, and push, and down, push, down, and push. Switch legs, and down, push, down, push, down, push. One more, and down, push. Good. Okay, from here we're going to go over to lying side leg lifts. We're going to go opposite direction this time. So hand out in front. I'm going to pull the knee in first high, right? Lift that leg up and lower from there. All right, here we go. In, up, down. In, up, down. Abdomen is pulled in, hips press down. One more. Good. Bend your knees, chest expansion, hand behind the neck, lift the hips, rotate the elbow down, and lift it up and down. And switch sides. Leg lifts, opposite direction. Here we go. Knee in first. Up, down. One more. Good. Bend your knees, up on your elbow, hand behind your head, and lift, and rotate, and up, and down. Up, rotate, up, and down. Let's go one more. Come back to center for seated accordions. Okay, go ahead and extend these legs out. Some bonus arm work. We're going to go figure eights on the front side. So arms out in front, then we're just figure eighting. So that just means our shoulders are rotating forward and then opening. Chest is closing and opening. Arms are rotating. Nice and strong. Sitting up tall. Big breathing. Palms down, pull, back, and forward, back, squeeze the shoulder blades. Let's go one more. Good. All right, stretch forward, let it go. Nice job today. First session of the week. Hopefully it was a good one for you. I feel like it was good. Sense of accomplishment, a little bit of a challenge, right? Make sure that you comment after you're done, and then I will see you next time. Good job.